Tell me if you feel it, 'cause I know you do. Tell me if you need it, 'cause I'm here for you. I cannot believe it that you're talking true. I cannot believe it in you. You know I can't stop, won't stop, darling. I keep thinking we could be more than you'll ever know. I'll run with you into the night, chasing the stars inside your eyes, crossing the bridge until we find our way back home.
So Milena and I met 7 years ago, almost exactly 7 years ago in October. We met going to a yoga conference. We were both running really late, and she got out of a taxi and asked me in English where the conference was. And by subtle hint of an accent, I immediately knew where she was from, or assumed.
Tell me
And our third time we were hanging out together, we were having brunch. And for all of you who know Milena, Milena doesn't talk lightly. It's not a small talk. You go in, right? Like you go in deep, you talk quickly, you understand a lot about a person really quickly with her. And one of the things we talked about were just this notion of stories and fairy tales. And it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter where you're born or what your culture is. You always have stories and you have fairy tales.
believing in you. You know I can't stop, won't stop, darling. I keep thinking we could be more than you'll ever know. I'll run with you into the night, chasing
So fast forward a couple years later, she was about to head back to Russia. I was really sad. We went to dinner. This was like about 2 weeks before she was leaving. And she told me, I think I met someone. She was like, I hate to say it. I'm about to leave, but I think I met someone.
1, 2, 3.
There's one tradition in Russian weddings. Usually when you toast, you drink a shot of vodka. When a couple drinks a shot of vodka, technically it's bitter, right? So in Russian, everyone yells, gorka, 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 which means bitter, bitter, bitter. But what that means is like, to get the bitter taste out of your mouth, you're supposed to kiss. So what I'd love for you to do is, first of all, raise your glass to the happy couple. Congratulations. Many years of joy and happiness to you. Let's all take a drink. And now let's all yell, as well as you can pronounce it. Gorka, 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 gorka. Good job.
You know, it was 5 years ago, Garrick called me up at the office and he said, I've met this girl and she's from Russia. And I want to bring her up to North Carolina and give her the full Copeland experience. Just so y'all understand, that doesn't just mean going to a Wake football game and hanging out with me for the weekend. That includes a Dixie Classic Fair and me dragging her to a tractor pull. Okay, so this lady hung out with me, my wife, and my daughter, and Garrick for the entire weekend. When we got back home on Monday, I called Garrick and I said, you need to marry that girl. That was 5 years ago. I knew then what he didn't quite understand yet, which was you were the one for him. And I could see it just in just spending one weekend with you. Because Garrick's always been there for me. And even though we could be worlds apart and not see each other for a year, he's the guy who always has my back. And he's always been that way. And I've always been that way with him. And he knows it. And so I'm just going to tell you, Milena, if he's half the husband that he is as a friend, then you have a wonderful life in front of you. And that you should just hug him and love him. And I cannot be more happy for the two of you guys.
We who are gathered here say to you, Garrick and Elena, may you not just have love, may you become it. So, friends, this is where things have ended up since the Crawdad Festival in Virginia Highlands on May the 12th, 2012. Now, Garrick saw this woman struggling with crayfish shells, and he said, "You are absolutely massacring these crayfish." So Elena says, "He peeled and I ate, he peeled and I ate." And she said to herself, "This is the guy that I want to be with." 2 weeks later, she moved back to Russia. In July then, back to Miami, then back to Moscow. 5 months later, she gave up a great job in Moscow and came back to the United States. 10 months later, Garrick went to Russia. I don't know if I have all that right, but the karavai is wedding bread, often braided, as you can see, with decorations of birds, flowers, nuts, and so forth. So each of you are going to take a bite.
Do we do it at the same time?
At the same time.
You're totally cheating.
1, 2, 3.
Boom.
First off, I'm happy to be here. A lot of us thought this day would never come for Garrick, so we're excited. But seriously, Garrick has been the best brother I could ever ask for. I've been through a lot of ups and downs in my life, and he's always been there for me. He's always guided me. He's always had my back. So ever since we were little. So I just wanted to tell him thank you for being there for me, and I love you, Elena. You're amazing. I'm so excited to have you as a sister. Just the changes I've seen in Garrick since good changes, Garrick, good changes.
By the love that is in your hearts, by the grace of what is highest in life, we here who have witnessed your promises declare that you, Garrick and Elena, are married. We may now call you by those two old and respected names, husband and wife. And we who are gathered here wish you all that is good. Make kiss.